I know I started off with the inevitable phrase of saying we haven't forgotten the name, but are there times when you walk out there every time, be it in the nets or in any kind of match, where they expect you to repeat that feat every single time?
Yeah, I guess the fans, the public and the media still do to a certain extent. And I think for a while, I'd be honest and say that even myself put that pressure, to finish with a 6 and, be the hero again. But I think over the last 12 months I've kind of come down off the high and try to be a little more consistent. So while I probably haven't hit the heights of the 4 6s again, I think over the past 2 or 3 franchise tournaments and leading back into the last year of T20 national cricket, I think it did very, very solidly. I think I averaged 40 something with the bat and was the 3rd or 4th most leading wicket taker in T20 international. So again, obviously everything I do from here on in will be stacked against what happened in the World Cup, which probably will never happen again. But I've been happy with how my game has progressed since.
I'm sure it can happen again. I'm sure it needn't be 4, maybe it'll be 3, it could even be more, but never say never. But talking about this wonderful family, and I think that's the one word everyone I've spoken to wearing these colours has talked about. It's a family, and that's probably the #1 reason why you're doing so well.
Yeah, I would pay a testament to that. I think from coming into the setup, I think one thing I realized that everyone was very familiar. And I think Tom and his team worked together over the year and more than one franchise tournament. So it's a pretty well-oiled machine. And then they've kept the core from the last contract period. So they just be making additions, slight adjustments and whatnot. So it's not a case where it's wholesale changes and then everyone is trying to find each other out and get to gel with each other. It's a matter where you come into a family already and it's just a matter for you to really gel and do what you see, because you see things like a family. The finds meetings are fun, the group chat is fun, that type of thing, and we take those small things for granted until they all come together and they really make you feel welcome. So I must say from day one I felt very, very welcome. And I guess, as I say, if you do well and you are the family off the field, it transcends onto the field. And for the situations we've been in, we haven't scored 200 and blown teams out for 80 or 90. We've got 140, 150, and we've stuck all the way through. And I think Kings 11 game was probably the height of that, being 60 odd without loss with the batting they have, the form they're in, Chris Gayle and KL Rahul at the crease, 60 without loss, chasing a small total. And to then come and defend that the way we did was magnificent. And I think the off-the-field culture transcends itself on the field.
Did you send Chris a message at some point?
We're not allowed to have our phones.
No, just a handwritten message.
I would have loved to.
Come back, Chris.
come, just have a secret to tell you. Spare me 14 overs. But no, I didn't. But yeah, when you come against players like Chris and you come out on the right side, it's always a good feeling, especially after what he did to us in Mohali. That was special as well. Again, he was 50 off 38, like any mortal would be. And then I think 100 off 50 something, like it was unreal. And then watching it from the outside.
But it's a good example you give, because it's not just the unit. You can imagine someone like Rashid Khan, who took a battering in that game. For many mere mortals, it would be like, I never want to bowl again. And yet he comes back, bowls even better, picks up wickets, and you're back in this winning unit as a bowling unit, because you obviously have 2 roles to play. And I know we think of Carlos Brathwaite, the batsman, but you've got an important role with the ball, and I'm sure you gel with the rest of your bowling unit, even apart from your mate CJ.
Yeah, we even had a bowling meeting, and I think he got a lot of support during those 2 games, or the days in and around those 2 games when he didn't have his best days. I think for the career he's had thus far, the short one, he hasn't had many bad days. So, to be in an environment like this where he was helped and supported, it really, really helped him to go forward with the confidence that he's still the best T20 bowler in the world and he's not become a bad bowler overnight. And you can see it the way we practice, the conversations that the bowling unit has. And it doesn't always be formal meetings, sometimes one-on-one. So I'm trying to learn the knuckleball. And there's a wealth of experience. Sandeep Sharma, Bhuvi and Sid, 3 of the best exponents of the knuckleball. So, being able to tap into that wealth and knowledge. Obviously, Rashid has nearly no better teacher. Shakib as well, and Nabi, who's from Afghanistan. So there's a wealth of knowledge in and around the team, and everyone supports each other. It's not like I have a secret or I have a technique and I'm not going to tell you. You know, like everyone shares everything. So the support is fantastic, and I think that support kind of helped him to bounce back from 2 difficult games to be the match winner we all know he is.